Okay, so I want you to imagine something. Picture yourself standing on an island. Right now, deep beneath your feet, two of Earth's colossal tectonic plates are grinding against each other. Now, this collision is so slow, you can't feel a thing, but trust me, it's so immensely powerful that it has built one of the most violent and, frankly, spectacular landscapes on our entire planet. And no, this isn't some scene out of a blockbuster disaster movie. For many, this is just a regular day in Indonesia. I mean, the sheer number of volcanoes is almost impossible to wrap your head around. They're not just some feature way off on the horizon, they literally are the horizon. So just how many are we talking about here? Well, Indonesia is home to 127 active volcanoes. That's more than any other country on Earth. And it's not even close.
To really put that into a global perspective, that single number, 127, means this one country holds a mind-blowing 13% of all the active volcanoes on the entire planet. It's a geological superstar, no question.
And here's the part that's really crucial. This isn't some empty, remote part of the world. Nope. 277 million people live here, in this archipelago, waking up every single day in the shadow of these massive geological engines. So that leads us to the really big question. Why? All right, to get to the bottom of this, we've got to zoom out. And I mean way out. We need to stop seeing Indonesia as just a chain of islands and start seeing it as a key piece in a massive global system of, well, fire and fury. And that system has a name you've probably heard of, the Ring of Fire. It's this enormous 40,000-kilometer horseshoe of tectonic activity around the Pacific. But here's the thing. Indonesia's spot is totally unique. It's not just on the ring. It's at this chaotic three-way intersection where the Indo-Australian, Eurasian, and Pacific plates are all smashing into each other. Think of it like a giant, slow-motion pileup of continents. That's the secret sauce to its volcanic power. Okay, so a continental pileup, cool. But how does that chaos actually build a volcano? Well, it all boils down to one incredibly powerful world-building process. And that process is called subduction. I know, it sounds a little technical, but the concept is actually pretty simple. When a heavy, dense ocean plate crashes into a lighter continental plate, the heavier one basically loses the fight. It gets forced down, sinking deep, deep into the Earth's fiery mantle. So check this out. It sets off this incredible chain reaction. As that plate sinks, it gets super hot and starts to sweat out all the ocean water it had trapped inside. Now here's the magic trick. That water acts like a chemical flux, and it lowers the melting point of the mantle rock right above it. Suddenly, solid rock starts to turn into liquid magma. And because that magma is way lighter than the solid rock all around it, it starts to rise. And eventually, boom, you've got yourself a volcano. Now, just imagine that process happening over and over and over again for millions of years, all along a 3,000-kilometer line. What do you get? You get this, the Sunda Arc. This isn't just a random collection of pretty islands. It's the direct physical result of subduction, a chain of fire that stretches from Sumatra through Java all the way to Bali and even further. So we've got this science down, but let's talk about the real-world consequences. Because Indonesia's geology hasn't just shaped its own islands, it has repeatedly and dramatically shaped the entire world. The history here is just staggering. We're talking about eruptions so big they pretty much defy imagination, from the ancient supervolcano Toba all the way to the modern-day rebirth of Anak Krakatau, which means child of Krakatau. Just to give you a little perspective, the 1815 Tambora eruption was the biggest in all of recorded history. Huge, right? But Toba, which blew its top about 74,000 years ago, it was nearly 20 times bigger. It threw so much ash and gas into the atmosphere that it might have caused a volcanic winter that lasted a decade, and some theories say it pushed early humanity right to the brink of extinction. And then, of course, you have Krakatau. The sound of it literally destroying itself in 1883 traveled about a tenth of the way around the entire planet. I mean, can you imagine a sound so loud that people heard it clearly in Australia, almost 5,000 kilometers away? It's still one of the loudest sounds ever recorded. Just unbelievable. But you know what might be even more fascinating are the weird ripple effects. All the ash from Tambora created the year without a summer. And that dark, gloomy weather is what inspired a young Mary Shelley to write Frankenstein. And those crazy, vivid sunsets from Krakatau's ash? Many art historians think that's what inspired the wild, blood-red sky in Edvard Munch's famous painting, The Scream. So these volcanoes didn't just mess with the climate, they literally changed art and literature forever. Which, of course, leads us right to the most obvious question of all. Why on earth would anyone choose to live in a place like this? It just seems like a total paradox, doesn't it? You've got generation after generation of people living, farming, and raising families right on the slopes of these giants that have proven time and again they can destroy everything in an instant. Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it comes down to one word: soil. The very same stuff that rains down destruction from the sky also creates unbelievable life from the ground. You can think of volcanic ash as like a geological superfood. It just pumps the land full of essential minerals from deep within the earth, creating some of the most fertile farmland on the entire planet. You know those stunning green rice terraces in Bali, or that world-famous Sumatran coffee? They only exist because of the volcanoes, not in spite of them. For thousands of years, the choice wasn't really between danger and safety. It was between farming this rich land or starving. And this relationship, it goes so much deeper than just farming. It's spiritual. The story of Mba Mayarjan, the spiritual keeper of Mount Marapai, is just so powerful. He believed his sacred duty wasn't to run from the volcano, but to communicate with it, to appease its spirit. He chose to stay, and in doing so, he embodied this deep cultural connection to the mountain that is every bit as powerful as the geology itself. Okay, so let's bring this all back to today. How does this local reality, this dance with danger, have a truly global impact? Well, it turns out it's shaping our shared future in some pretty surprising ways. Just take a look at this. This is the hidden gift inside all that volcanic heat. Indonesia is literally sitting on an estimated 40% of the world's entire potential for geothermal energy. 40%. It's basically a clean energy superpower just waiting to happen. So here's the bottom line. Indonesia's volcanoes matter to every single one of us. When we study their eruptions, it helps us build better models for climate change. The volcanic processes have also made Indonesia the world's top producer of nickel, which is absolutely essential for the batteries in electric cars. And of course, there's all that geothermal energy. It really is this constant dance between incredible danger and incredible opportunity. And that kind of brings us full circle to this really beautiful idea from Javanese philosophy, Memayu Hayoning Bawana. It means, essentially, to maintain and beautify the world. It's not about trying to conquer nature or running away from it. It's about finding harmony within it. And for people who have built an entire civilization in the shadows of the world's most active volcanoes, well, that isn't just a philosophy. That is the ultimate guide to survival.